godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now. like the Godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now. For us guys, Zabo is like the Godfather, okay? We love him. He's been around for a long time now.
everybody. This is Big Jeff, and I'm coming to you live from No Days Off Radio Productions with the number one show in the land, Nothing But The Truth. All right.
Okay, let me get.
All right, today we're going to speak on the mindset of Young Thug and the injustice tactics by the county, or for the county. And, it's strange how I picked this topic to talk about in the earlier part of last week. Is when we scheduled this subject to be spoke on. And this is a subject that we've been avoiding for at least 4 months, So I myself and Shanita, we talked about it, and I told her that I think it's time that I speak on behalf of Young Thug, which is the namesake of me, Big Jeff. And like I say, this is something that I have been asked to do several times. This is something that we have talked about and discussed a few times, overall, and I was always avoiding it. I was always avoiding the issue of us doing it. So it's strange how God can put something in front of you and make you pay attention to it in a manner to where he actually reveals the reason why. And I think that what has happened in the recent weeks, the last 2 weeks, is why God put that on my heart, because he knew, like everything else he knows, that it may be time. So he put it on my heart first. He put it on my heart first months ago. And everybody, like I say, was saying, you need to talk about your son, you need to this, you need to that, and I just don't believe in doing that, because, my son is my son. And I don't want to speak on my son's behalf and try to make him this A1 kid, this top-notch young man, and this, undoubtedly saint as an adult, because none of us are saints. None of us are saints. All of us have something in our life that and I don't like using the word regret. I really don't use the word regret when I'm talking about a person's life. All of us have something that that we know that we probably have done, or we probably have been a part of, or played a role in, or had something to do with something that we didn't really want to take part in or feel like we was part of. So to be accused of a lot of things that is unorthodox on your behalf, it takes a toll on you. It can take a toll on you if you're not ready for it. So I have been it has been put on my heart to have this discussion. And, by the grace of God, last week, 2 weeks ago, before this happened, before anything happened on this internet bullshit, and anything else that pertains to Young Thug, it was already put on our heart to have the discussion. And I wish I had it when I was first asked to do it, because I don't want everybody to think that I'm speaking because of what's done took place. What's done took place I can care less. You know, I can care less about what has taken place as far as the video, the interview, or whatever the cut, whatever interview he did, with who he did it with, this, that, and the third. I don't care. I don't care about that. Because to be people who have been in the streets, and when I say in the streets, I mean for all of us who have had to be in the streets on a life and survival mode level. If you have been to jail before, if you have been arrested before, if you have just been questioned before, everybody who has had that done to them at one point in their lives should understand from looking at these videos that are so-called being leaked. Because, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have never been incarcerated a day in your life, I'm going to share this with you all so you all will know that a lot of things that a lot of these cats who are podcasters and, people who have these shows that, they want to interview people, this, that, and the third. And, as I say, this is my opinion, throw people under the bus by asking them subliminal questions because they know that these guys are going to do their best to try to answer the questions when they shouldn't even be inquiring on the questions. They shouldn't even be inquiring the answer to some of these questions. Because, like I say a lot, the damn trial isn't over because they got out of jail. The case didn't end. It's still going on. So to me, a lot of these podcasters who are putting these guys in the line of fire by asking them questions about the case, they begin to make me think that they working with the system. And a lot of them portraying themselves to be people who have been in the street before, people who have been incarcerated before, this, that, and the third. If you have been in that situation before, you should know better than to ask people subliminal ass questions that was part of a trial, that was part of a case, that was part of what these kids were charged with and fought for their damn lives about. So I can't tell that these guys have the interest of these young men at heart when these guys have enough respect for them to come on their shows because they know them or because they got some type of love for them as somebody who they look up to or they admire. I think it's a slap in the face to them for these podcasters and people that they do these interviews with to even play them like that. And they're playing them like that, like I say, because of the credibility that they have with these guys. And I'm saying something that I have said to these guys before they even started doing these interviews. Before they start, participating in talking to these people, that they look up to or that they have this level of respect for. They say, yeah, man, I fuck with you. I'll come on your show. I'll this, that, and the other. And this the things they get. This is the things that they get. If I was these guys, man, if you brought me on your show and the only thing you can ask me about is the trial that I was just in and shit that is being said about these guys on interrogations, on phone calls, on anything that can relate to anything that they have went through. They supposed to cuss your ass out and walk off your show. Because at that time, you are putting them in an incriminating position to where if they answer these bullshit questions y'all ask them sometimes, they're putting themselves in harm's way. And if you got any kind of street in you, or you done been in any kind of prison by being sentenced for any criminal activity or criminal behavior or whatever, your ass should know better. Your ass should know better. So I feel like a lot of these people are taking advantage of these guys, like I say, out of them having respect for them and treating them as if they are cool with them. You know, so I want to share this with the world. I want to share this with everybody who I think can hear what I'm saying.
They said they agree with you, but they said, I have Miss Allie A. She's saying, but we have to also, they have to also know not to pretty much answer these questions.
That's my point. They supposed to tell them kiss their ass and walk off their platforms. You know what I'm saying? Because the questions that need to be being asked now of these young men is, what are you doing next to keep yourself out of harm's way? Ask them shit like that. Ask them, if you're going to ask them about something, ask them how they feel about being illegally prosecuted. Ask them how they feel about, you know, what is their mindsets on being held hostage in prison, in a jail, not prison, in a jail. Ask them questions that pertains to something that means something. Because what they just went through in trial don't mean shit. They came home. They came home. You know, and I'm going to relate to what I raised. I'm going to relate to the kids that I have raised. I'm going to relate to the son that I have raised that everybody sees as an icon. You all don't know him. You all do not know him. Even the people who's around him, even the people that he's allowing to be around him, even the people that he has enough respect for to call friend and consider friend, don't know him. And the reason they don't know him is because they don't understand him. They don't understand him. I understand him because the gene that he's sharing with the world, he got it from me. He got it from me. And that gene sometimes, and I have said this on my show previously, that gene that he has, sometimes I hate the fact that it was passed to him. And that gene is called love. His love for goddamn people who don't appreciate him. His love for people who sees him, his love that he showed to them as a weakness. His love that he expresses on people, they take it for granted and think that he's a damn fool. That gene that he shared, that he's got a trait from me on, is so detrimental to us. And I figured it out at a young age because I was in the street at a young age. I was in the street. My son has never had to be in the street in survival mode. When my son was allowed to play in the street, it was just because he was outside. He's never been in survival mode. He always had somewhere to go. He's always had somebody he can call, which is dad, mom, or brothers or sisters. He's never had to be without his father, but one time in his entire life. So let's don't get this shit twisted. Let's don't get it twisted. He has been properly raised, but we all know if you are a parent, if you have been a parent and been involved in your child's life, all of their lives, you know for a fact that once we get them to a certain age, we got to cut the apron string. And we got to allow them to bump their damn head sometime. But that don't mean we give up on them.
True.
Out of everything my son has ever had to endure in life, one thing he know for sure, my daddy gonna be here if don't nobody else show up. My dad is gonna come and see about me if don't nobody else come and see about me. My dad is gonna show up to show out and support me if he needs to. One thing that he will tell you is that my dad is not gonna uphold me in my wrongdoings, whether it's true or not. And this is something that he's been told since he was 7 years old. And what I have always said to all my sons is this, all my children. If you call yourself being in a situation or put yourself in a situation to where somebody has to retaliate on you and you get the worst end of the deal, I'm going to charge you to the game. Because that's part of being outside in the game. Not gang, not G-A-N-G, G-A-M-E. This is what we need to iterate to our kids. If your ass want to be in the street, whatever comes, that's part of being in the street. Mm-hmm. Whatever you go through, that's part of being in the street. We can't beat it in them. We can try to talk it into them. We can't lock them in the house for 24 hours a day, 8 days a week. We cannot watch our kids all day, every day. If we do that, who gonna pay the damn bills? Who gonna go to work? Who gonna put food on the table? So we have to install morals in our kids. And then we got to trust them to go out in society and use their morals.
Exactly.
Every man has his own way of thinking. You can't think for the next person. All of my children know this. All of my children know that one thing in life you can't do with people is stop them from talking about you. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly. My kids know this. They was raised on that. The thing that bothers me the most with what's been going on with my son, Jeffrey, is to see him do something that he's never done. He's never been raised to do it. He's never been raised to entertain it. He's never been put in a position to have to entertain it on no levels. And that's to see him respond to the shit people are doing and saying about him right now. But I know he's full. I know he's full. I know he's full. And the reason I know he's full is because he's a product of me. I'm full. I'm full. My son now should be understanding what I have always told him about that gene that was passed to him from me. And that's the gene of love. That's the gene of love that causes him to care for people, that causes him to put people in front of him in certain aspects. That gene makes him loyal. It makes him loyal. And his loyalty cost him. And he's already been told that, but he's never had to go through it till now. So now, son, I hope you understand why I used to explain to you about that gene and how it can be good and bad for you. Now you see how it can be good and bad for you. You know, because people don't understand us. That's one gene I hate that God allowed me to pass to my kids. I hate it. Because it makes them vulnerable to people. And them not knowing how it works and how it should be, you know, put in perspective when and when it should not be used, it costs them sometime. Just like it used to cost me before I figured it out. So, for people to say, I'm not dealing with him no more. I'm not this with him no more. I don't want to talk to him no more. I don't want to this with him no more. You think he don't know that? He just got to accept it now. Like I have had to do with people. We know it. We know when people don't want to deal with us. I just never wanted him to have to go through that. But it must be what God intended for him to do. Go through it. So that he can see that the people who he have put his all in is with him, not for him. Because if somebody can come between you and a person who has showed you loyalty, a goddamn phone conversation shouldn't make you make a decision to say, I don't want to deal with a brother no more. Because he's still that person that you can call and talk to. If you need an understanding, if you need, so let's not get this shit twisted. I want somebody to show me. I want somebody to call in to this show. If you have ever been a man who's dealt with a woman in a relationship, and you haven't had a conversation about your so-called friends with your woman. Show me one man who hasn't done that. I would love to see him. I would love to see him. Show me a man whose woman has not talked to him about his friends and tried to tell him that these motherfuckers ain't no good for you, as far as I can see. That's what women do. That's what your woman's supposed to do. She's supposed to give you the heads up and try to make you realize some of the people that you got in your circle, she think do not have love for you like you do for them. And it go both ways. You think we don't tell our girls, I think your goddamn friend so and so, you need to stop fucking with her. You need to stop dealing with her.
Yep.
It go both ways.
That's true.
You know, so here's a young man that was raised by a man that instilled in him the love for people. You know, to the fact that where you can curse our ass out 5 minutes ago, and then you can call us 5 minutes later, and we'll act like ain't nothing happened. And we'll act like nothing has happened. I'm who he got that from. He got that trait from me. So, if people decide to say, I'm not dealing with this man, guess what? You didn't deal with him in the beginning. Because some of these same people, if when he was a starving artist, he knocked on a lot of people's doors, and the doors didn't open for him. So to disown him as a friend now, you ain't doing nothing but going back to where you was at in the beginning. Not dealing with him. He shouldn't miss you. He shouldn't miss you if it's that easy. Because some of you same people, you know, we're gonna call a spade, have had conversations with him about each other, about other people, about women. You know, what everybody need to realize is the fact that the system is making you all act a damn fool with each other. And y'all don't even see it. Y'all don't even see it. And the reason you don't see it is because when we was going through what we was going through, I was trying to pull up on a lot of y'all that I felt like was cool with my son and give y'all the heads up on what was coming at you. And not one of y'all gave me the respect to allow me to tell y'all what the hell was going to happen. And what was fixing to happen. And what's still probably going to happen. Because she's not out the office yet. You know, sometimes me and my son can say something. And naive people will take it out of context. You know, they'll take it out of context. And we as a people in society right now, we're so easily manipulated by what people think. Mm-hmm. And so concerning about what people think and caring about what people think till we forget about being fucking human.
Exactly.
We are human. Sometimes I myself and my son can be taken the wrong way because of how we speak on things. And to give you all an example that everybody can relate to is the time we was in trial and I was doing my show, which is this podcast, and a young lady by the name of Infamous Sylvia was on my platform. And she asked me a question on how I feel about Lil Baby speaking on Gunna. And my answer was, right now, he need to shut the fuck up, and not just him, a lot of podcasters and interviewers and whoever else that want to have something to say about Gunna needs to be quiet right now. Because, and everybody went deaf. Nobody has said anything about when I said, I'm going to tell y'all why I'm saying it, like I do on every show. If I say something, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying it. And my reason for saying that wasn't to bash Lil Baby. I don't know this kid to bash him. I don't know this kid to have something against him. I have never dealt with this kid on a level for me to not have a heart for him.
Period.
The people took it out of context. And he fell into the trap. But at the end of me saying that, I said these words. Gunna is on tour right now. And I do not want my son to have to go through what the guy that was incarcerated for being the head of his gang was going through. To where every time something happened by a gang member that acknowledged him as their OG, as their big homie, or whoever, just because he started the gang, as they say. Don't nobody know if he started it or not. This man is in federal prison, and every time a GD or somebody commit a crime, they charged him with it.
And relate him to that, right?
See, that's the type of shit I pay attention to. So, for anybody to speak on Gunna at that time, we are in trial. Our trial done started. We're not picking a jury no more. We are in trial. I don't want Jesus speaking on Gunna as long as my children and other people's children is in damn trial fighting for their damn lives. Because what we got to understand, people, and for those of you who don't know, I'm going to say this again. When you go to other cities, unlike Atlanta, the people in those cities run their cities. So it wouldn't be nothing for somebody to push up on Gunna, me, anybody from Atlanta or from anywhere that somebody has an issue with and try to do some harm to them.
Exactly.
But if you have never been out there in these situations, you won't know that. But these artists know it. These artists know that they go to some of these cities and have to fight their way out the damn city. So stop acting like y'all ain't got a damn clue and tell the people what's really happening. When y'all go to these cities, man, these guys will push up on their ass, take their shit, rob them, whatever the case might be. So let's not get it twisted, fellas. Let's not get it twisted. You all are on the internet arguing with each other. Are y'all serious? All of y'all are criminals. all of y'all have taken a plea or served some time in prison or jail, and y'all on the internet arguing with each other.
Crazy.
Do y'all understand that's a violation? Do y'all really not know that that's a violation? Y'all don't even supposed to be speaking on each other, let alone talking to each other. Let's make it make sense, guys. And nobody's saying nothing to y'all yet. Have y'all ever sat down and thought why? Haven't nobody came at y'all yet? Because they waiting on your asses to say something that they can use against your stupid asses.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But see, when y'all go on these podcasts or shows, they ain't trying to tell y'all that. Because they are DAs now. That's what I call them. They are DAs now.
You said that.
Because everything they ask y'all about is what y'all done been through in jail, in a courtroom.
When they could have came.
All they had to do was bring their ass to court. They went out there and asked y'all them questions. Mm-hmm. I was told that my son was saying he didn't want guys to come to court because he didn't want them to wind up being part of what he was going through, this, that, and the other. That's all well and good. That's all well and good. But guess what? If I, as y'all say, fuck with somebody, he could have told me 1,000 times over not to come, and I would have came. I wouldn't have came every day, but every blue moon, he would have looked across the courtroom and saw me.
That part.
Even if it was 2 minutes, long enough to look at me and see me go back out the door. It's more to it than getting on the stage saying free Slime, free Lucha, free Rollo, free Juice, free that, free that. It's more to it than getting on the stage saying free and that shit. Everybody can say that. It's enough power between all of you all to where y'all can stand firm and make a difference. And make a difference. The first thing y'all got to do, man, is surround yourselves with people who's for you. Because a lot of y'all have a lot of people in your entourages that just there for the hype. Just there for whatever you can do for them. And as y'all should have used this trial, this case, to see that. Sit down, look in the mirror, or ask yourself the $64,000 question. What if it were me? What would my entourage have done? What would all my partners have done? Would they be there to support me? Big Jeff made a stand for all of you all, not just mine. All of you all. For everybody that's in the Fulton County Jail and corrections facilities, period. Because that's what y'all need. Y'all need somebody to come to the forefront for you.
Support.
And stand.
That's not trying to divide them.
You understand? And stand for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, Big Jeff don't see y'all as criminals. Big Jeff don't see y'all as gang members. Big Jeff don't see y'all as, icons. Big Jeff don't see y'all as rich niggas. Big Jeff don't see y'all as, these the people with the money, so we got to kiss their asses.
Facts.
Big Jeff sees all of y'all as his children.
Family.
Big Jeff see y'all as somebody's child. Big Jeff see y'all as human who does and can make mistakes. We are not perfect.
Exactly.
To go in a courtroom and don't see family support hurts me to the core. Hurts me to the core. And the system uses that against your loved one. The system actually used that against your loved one. Because when they call your loved one name and nobody stands to make it known that they do have family support more so than anything, that makes the courts feel like they must be these awful people.
Right.
Because no one is there to support them. I went to a lot of people trial down there. Intentional. To show the support because I spoke on it. I speak on it all the time. That they need support and I'm there to support them. So you damn right if I find that one of somebody going to trial on whatever, it can be sweeping this street. I'm going to go in that courtroom and I'm going to support them. That's what they need. That's what we need when we fighting the system. Support.
And unity.
Unity comes with families. If enough families show up at the courthouse, we can get some answers. Some proper answers. Not the chump off answers. That's what caused Big Jeff issues at the courthouse. Because I couldn't be chumped off. Sometimes we can speak on things and people, like I say, naive people, can take it the wrong way. And I think that a lot of things that were said in the interview was perceived the wrong way.
Exactly.
You know, even though it was said the way it was said, me being me and me knowing about that gene that I passed on, I can relate to that. I can relate to it being taken the wrong way. Because, you know, unlike a lot of things in life, you can look at it and you can hear it and you can hear it and perceive it the wrong way. Just like it was done to me with Lil Baby. I don't have any issues with that kid. It came out like that because of me being entwined and in tune with what I was talking about that day. So, we men. I consider him a young man. I'm old enough to be his father. I tried to make amends with him on it. He didn't want to accept it. So I let it go. I didn't try to make amends over the telephone. I didn't try to make amends through a podcast at people like guys do. I tried to make amends with him face to face, man to man, man to young man. He didn't want to accept it. I left it alone. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
And I still don't have no ill feelings about him or with him. That's his prerogative. That's his prerogative. So a lot of things that has taken place over the last couple of weeks, and a lot of people will tell you that when I was asked about it, my answer to everybody was, I'm glad they going through it to get it off their chest. Because everybody's talking about something that they have been wanting to say to each other.
Exactly.
So let everybody get it off their chest, and then, they'll feel better, and hopefully things will get better. Whether they continue to deal with each other or not. At least they got it off their chest. They ain't got to hold it in anymore. My son do not, to me, this is my opinion, my son to me don't owe nobody an explanation or an apology. Because he hasn't done nothing none of us have ever done. So what? He had a discussion with his goddamn girlfriend. So what? Who don't? Who don't have discussion with their girlfriends, their wives, whoever? Who don't do that? But we're so ignorant, we're allowing the system to use that as their trump card and don't even realize that what they doing.
Right.
To separate everybody. Because see, if you make enough people mad with each other, so I'm going to show y'all the game. GAME game. If you can make enough people mad with each other, you win. That's called dividing and conquer.
Exactly.
If you can make enough people angry with each other, you have divided them and conquered them.
Right.
The system is using that to divide and conquer us again. But everybody's so wrapped up into their damn feelings, they can't think. They can't see it. There's no way. What everybody ought to be doing that has heard their name in the conversation, that have heard, anything. If you done heard your name in in a conversation that they have put out about Thug and his companion having a conversation on the phone and your name was mentioned, you got to be the dumbest person in the world not to be filing charges against Securus. Securus is a private company. Securus is not a correctional institution company that's been produced, that's inactive by the state or the county or the government. That's a private communications company.
Right.
That is not authorized to give anybody a recorded conversation unless it's been subpoenaed.
We have a question. She said, "Do you know how the calls got released?" I'm
Yeah,
her.
Fulton County.
I'm her. Said that.
Fulton County did it. That's the only people who could have done it. Those are the only people who could have done that. First of all, like I say, y'all gotta Google Securus and see that they are a private communications company. If you call securities right now and say, I want to get the phone conversation for an inmate, they gonna tell you it has to be court ordered.
Or that it's only secures or the jail that
So
over those phone calls. So if it wasn't
now
them,
the jail is not even open.
the county, Fulton County.
They have to have a court order for them to release them those phone calls.
Well, they told me open records request.
You know, that open records request does not entitle phone calls from the jail, from no jail. That's not open. Phone calls from jails are not open record. If that's the case, you can go on your laptop or your telephone right now
I recorded the conversation.
and pull up and put in Google
Right.
a conversation between Thug and Mariah and see do it come up. No, it's not gonna come up. It's not gonna come up.
So Fulton County released these.
There you go,
phone
because they
calls.
already had them. Because if we stay in trial, everybody would have heard those conversations, would have heard those phone calls, because they would have used it in trial. If it's incriminating, why they didn't use it in trial?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely
You know,
were released to be messy. Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
You know, they lost the case as far as having to give Young Thug his assets back. So now we gonna do something to bash his name.
We got is it Day Moore?
That's retaliation.
She's saying there's a YouTube video of Seti Nash saying that he released the audio calls from jail. Is this true?
And he probably did because he worked for them. He probably did. He worked for them. He worked for the system.
Yes. So another viewer says that a blogger bought him to extort money. Yeah, I did hear that, and I believe that too.
And guess what? You can buy them from people that you know
In the
have them
system.
in the system.
With the county, you're right.
You understand? You can do that because guess what? You know, some people will reveal that, hey, I got this right here. Should you give me this for it? You can get it.
Right.
But I guarantee you, if they do their homework like they call themselves doing to everybody who they prosecute, it'll track back to them. You know, understand this. During our trial, I'm going to share this with everybody. During the YSL RICO trial, they had 911 phone calls that they was playing during the trial, throughout the trial. How many 911 operators did they bring in the courtroom to testify to those calls? One. Not two, not three, not 100, one. They got hundreds of 911 calls, and the same woman was subpoenaed to come to court and testify to all of them. Let's make that make sense. Let's make that. So you mean to tell me if I call 911 now for APD, this woman is gonna be the only one pick up the damn phone and answer my call every time? Come on, people, they trying to make us ignorant, man. They really think that we are fucking ignorant to do that. If you go to the Fulton County Courthouse right now, well, Monday, and go in some of those courtrooms and pay attention to the people who are prosecuting the cases, you would damn near see the same prosecutors prosecuting all the gang cases. Every gang case, they got the same prosecutors prosecuting them.
remember the lady with the ponytail who retired the, who retired the day she testified.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You understand? This woman last day on the job, she retired, and they still had her to come to court and testify to a damn 911 phone call. Let's be for real, man. Let's be for real. Southern girl, how you doing?
Definitely. So I'm her said somebody must wanted to ruin his industry relationships. Of course.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Definitely.
See, if you that's what I mean. If you can notice all the people, I want y'all to understand this. Notice all the people all the phone calls that they releasing, right? On every phone call they have released, it's only been phone calls that have him speaking on other artists. That's not sabotage, what is it? He talked to me on the phone, why they didn't release that?
Exactly.
He talked to his mom on the phone, why they didn't release that? He talked to his sisters on the phone, why they didn't release that? He talked to his brothers on the phone, why they didn't release that? He done talked to a lot of people on the phone. Why are they just releasing phone calls of him talking about other artists to his girlfriend? And the things that he's saying, I don't see where it should be detrimental to the people he talking about.
I actually thought it was very comical, the comeback from Glorilla. That was
You
really
know,
funny.
And Glorilla, that's a cute woman. She's a nice looking young lady.
Glorilla, y'all, so.
But you know, I want y'all to understand this. I want every man out there to go to his woman right now and sit in front of her and talk about a woman being beautiful, more beautiful than her, and see what kind of response you get.
Preach.
And see what type of response you get. Let me see your ass go sit on the phone and talk to your woman, and y'all talking about people, and you say, and she say, well, Glorilla got a nice song out. I like it, this, that, and the other. And you let him sit there and agree to that shit and see what happens.
Exactly. Okay.
You let him say she beautiful than me.
What? It's over.
You let a man tell his woman another woman beautiful to him. He gonna have some goddamn trouble. You know, but see, that lets you know how many people is in her corner. Because no one probably had that thought. They say, the man talking to his girl.
Right. Exactly.
He's talking to his girl. Now, he's in jail now. Let's not get it twisted.
Let's not.
He's in jail now. In some kind of way, the conversation goes to Glorilla. He in jail. Guess what? After he got off that phone call, now I'm finna be shitty. After he got out that phone call, he might have gave Glorilla the time of her life in his room. She'll never know it unless he see her and tell her.
Well, he darn sure ain't gonna tell his girlfriend that. Like, come on, y'all. Use common sense.
Come on, man. Certain women go for that. Certain women don't. His woman ain't going for that.
And then she mocked her in the comeback. That was hilarious.
You know, so come on now. Come on now. We got to be bigger than what we think. You know, these people, you know, have fought for their lives for 3 years. Mindset. A man's mindset is on 300 degrees plus another 700 degrees because of what they are dealing with. You try sitting in a jail a rich man. You try sitting in a jail a rich man, and the only defense that the prosecutorial system can use to play with your mentality is to keep telling you no bond. No bond. No bond. These kids were denied bond 5 times. 5. These kids were put in situations to where they had to defend themselves in jail.
And their attorneys was under fire and about to get incarcerated.
There you go. You know, when the deck stacked against you, you can pick any card out of 52, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. I myself, my opinion, out of 29 people, then but 2 go home scot-free. Well, I'm not going to say scot-free. They winded up putting some charges on them to make them take some kind of time too. Mm-hmm. But they were found not guilty of all charges except one. So they the ones won. The other 27, they lost because they played out. They lost. They really lost because they left out of court with something over their heads. To where now anything can be used against them. So that's not a win for them. That's a loss. The state won. Because they still have some kind of control over these children's heads. Mm-hmm. And notice, everybody that took their pleas, their time ranged from 1 year to 20 years. So what time did they get? They got the max, 20 years. With 5 years time served, 15 years on paper. You ain't never heard of no shit like that in pleas. The charges don't match the crime. The punishment does not match the crime, man.
We already know black and brown people are over sentenced in Georgia.
All the time.
Over.
All the time. You know, so it's to where if we don't stand for something, we're going to keep falling for anything. These are our loved ones they're doing this to. These are our loved ones they're doing this to. We better start fighting for them.
Telling you.
That CEO Warren got it.
Uh-huh. Let's scroll right here. Doug and Mariah were talking about a song I didn't turn into a really main conversation. Just
Okay, CEO Warren. CEO Warren, YSL is not a game. Okay? I'm going to say that first. CEO Warren, there's no such thing as a gang in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia anyway. No kids in Atlanta, Georgia are gang members. Not true, full-fledged gang members. None of them. None of them. There are no such thing as gangs in Georgia. But since everybody wants to think that they are affiliating themselves with gangs, that's why they choosing to prosecute your ass as gangs.
She said her definition of a gang is grind and never give up.
There you go. There you go. So, you know, that's the only thing gang can mean in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia. Because our kids, I was never a gang member. I was never a gang member. I have never portrayed to be a gang member. Do I know people who are? Yeah. But not me. But not me. You know, we had a detective that sat on the witness stand during the trial and pled, and she made a statement in the trial when she was asked, do you consider the people, the young men or whoever, to be gang members in Georgia, in Atlanta? And her answer was no. And when she was asked why, her answer was because I'm from, I think she said Detroit or Chicago or somewhere. She said, where I'm from, we have real gangs. And the mentality that I see with these guys in Atlanta does not tell me no kind of way that they are full-fledged gang members. They're just somebody claiming to be gangs. Because I have gang members in my family. I have gang members, you know, I have cousins who are gang members. I have relatives who, you know, other relatives who are gang members. I have friends where I'm from that are gang members, the whole 9 yards. So if they let her testify to that, why did they still try to charge everybody with being a gang member? If a person that they consider a gang expert said that no, they don't portray to be gang members to me. So that means she's not an expert no more when she answered that question. She's not an expert.
Somebody asked about the watch. Did Verita, what's her name? Verita, whatever her name is. Did she get the watch back?
I don't know what Verita did with that watch. You know, and if she gave it back, she must have snuck it back in property. If she gave it back, you know, but if she didn't get it, somebody got it, and somebody's wearing it. I guess somebody's wearing it because I ain't seen it. I haven't witnessed it being gave back. You know, it's a lot of things that they not gonna give back because everybody had already took their parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they were thinking that it wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
To have to give it back. You can best believe me. I can't wait to see it reappear. I can't wait to see it come back. Because then somebody going to have to answer that question as to who had it. This woman has testified in so many trials downtown. It's pathetic. You would think that she was the only investigator in Fulton County. She has testified at that many people trials, man. How can y'all keep buying her word? How can her word still be born after all the shit she's been corrupted in? How? Let's make it make sense. The same people, like I said earlier, are the same people prosecuting all the cases in Fulton County, especially the ones that they considering gang cases. So the mindset of thugs is, like he said, they have taken everybody out of my life that meant something to me at one time. They have taken all of my friends that I felt like was my friend out of my life. Now I got to start over. Now I got to try to rekindle the fact that I'm going to have to invite other people into my life right now. And I know that if they saying that the guys who were with me in the beginning wasn't cool for me, or wasn't cool with me, or didn't have my back, or didn't support, didn't do this, that, or the third, I'm finna have to open up a new can of worms and try to hope that I can go on. Mindset. That comes from being loyal to people for all the wrong reasons. And when I say all the wrong reasons, I mean that comes from being loyal to people who wasn't really loyal to you. Whether they spoke truth or fiction. I'm not mad at anybody for doing an interrogation. You're talking about some children. First of all, out of all the interrogation videos that they showed for everybody, that they showed throughout the trial, let me tell you why it should be admissible. Not one interrogation video that they showed started off with those guys being read their rights. None of them. None of those interrogations started off with us hearing these guys being read their rights first and foremost. They wasn't asked did they have an attorney. None of that. So, it's poke and pry. Mindset. This kid was put on a cell. Well, he did like any other person in jail would have done. Didn't have time to do nothing but think. If you ain't never been there, you wouldn't know. The only thing you can go on is what you hear. To be in a cell 23 and a half hours a day is a hell of a mindset to try to have when you ain't never been in that situation before. This kid is not a convicted felon. You took him off the street, put him in a 4x8, and said, no lights. If you had a window, it was so much you can see. If you had a window. Mindset. So when you do get a chance to talk to somebody on the phone or whatever, for those 15, 20, 30 minutes they give you, Man, you want to talk about everything under the damn sun. Because you know it's going to be 23 more hours before you do this again. So I wouldn't give a damn if whoever he talked to on the phone said pumpkin pie. They were going to make a conversation out of it. And the conversation was going to be a bunch of shit because I just want to talk.
Exactly. That's normal.
I just want to talk. I tell you what, you sit your ass in a house, in a room, for 23 hours a day and don't talk to somebody. Don't come out the room. Don't open the door. No. Put yourself in that situation. Go home and put yourself in that situation and see how long you last without trying to talk to somebody about something. And these are not excuses. These are facts. I'll never make an excuse for them. Because they are human. They're human. You can't make an excuse for something that's real. That's impossible to do. You can make an excuse for something that you're trying to push on somebody, which is a lie. We got to start being human. We can't forget that these guys are human.
Right.
Animals got treated better than they did. Animals actually get treated better than humans incarcerated them.
I'm telling you, facts.
Let's make that make sense. It's a mindset. If you torture a man every day by taking away his freedom to do anything, what type of damn mindset you think you gonna have? We can all sit back and try to and give our opinion on how we think about something somebody thinks, say, or do. But that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it true, because this is how we think it. Ask the person who said it. Why did they think it? Society runs us now. Everybody's trying to prove something to society because of people making opinionated comments, opinionated statements.
And that's their perception. Doesn't mean that it's
That's their perception.
exactly.
That's their opinion. They got the right to have that opinion. So what the hell make you think you can give them an explanation and it make them not think what they already think? Let's make it make sense. The young man has a gene in him that he's just now beginning to try to start understanding why that gene makes him be like he is. When I see him, when I talk to him, I'm going to tell him why that gene makes him do what he do and say what he say. Because I'm the one passed it to him. Can't nobody explain it to him better than me. because it's a gene that I have, and I'm still dealing with that gene. We can't help who we are. We can only keep being who we are. You know, so if people can't understand it, if the people can't, you know, ask the $64,000 question, you have to let them live with their thoughts. Because one thing we all better understand is it's not easy being somebody who the world looks up to and not have a bad moment. Everybody you gonna have a bad moment. Look at your R. Kellys. Look at your Bill Cosby's. Look at your P. Diddy's. Look at your Jeffrey Weinstein. He ain't did a damn thing. Let them tell it. But people still coming out on him though. His skin ain't dog. His skin is not dog. But them dog-skinned brothers, they gonna get it. And they are showing us by facts that they trying to do this in every city now. If it's an iconic figure and he's black and he's in any city, they are throwing something at him and getting a lot of people to play a part of it. That's what we facing right now. That's what we dealing with right now. And we're going to continue to deal with it as long as we stay divided. We're going to continue to deal with it. We're going to continue to see our loved ones, hear our loved ones come home and say, I just took a plea. I'm going to go in and take these 20 years and, you know, they're going to give me credit for 5, or they're going to give me credit for the time I've been in jail and did that and the other, and, you know, I'm going to go and get this over with. That's a win to them. Because at the end of the day, if somebody asks the question, their mindset's gone. If somebody asks the question and say, why this, why that, or the other, they're going to do just what Thug did. Try to explain it. But for what? A lot of these interviews that I have looked at since these guys been out of jail are sickening. And I have said to some of them when I seen them, hey man, y'all gotta stop letting these people put y'all behind the 8 ball with some of these questions that they asking y'all.
They're very hard for me to watch.
Y'all gotta stop it. Y'all when they ask y'all certain questions, man, y'all gotta tell them I'm not answering that. Why in the fuck are you asking me that anyway? You understand? Because some of these guys are acting DA.
Preach.
And y'all better realize that. They are sitting back looking at these interviews, hoping y'all say something that they can come at your ass with. I guarantee you that's what they doing.
They waiting. You best to believe Fulton County is waiting.
I guarantee you that's what they're doing. So y'all stop being knuckleheads, man.
Come together, make good music, and let's go.
You know, start paying more attention to things that mean something opposed to things that don't mean shit. Like Lil Rollo getting arrested after he did an interview. Pay attention to that.
When that happened?
When he did the Big Facts interview. Pay attention to that. Some of these questions, guys, that these people who y'all call friend or cool with are asking y'all is throwing your asses under the bus. Flip the game on them. If they ask y'all some shit that makes y'all look like, that makes y'all incriminate y'all self, tell them to answer it on their behalf. Tell them, put yourself in that, but just tell me how you'll handle it. Tell me what you'll say. You speak on it.
Right. Everything doesn't require response.
You know, I heard something in that interview that Big Bank Black said. And it was, shit, man. You know, when that shit happened to y'all, that shit started happening to all y'all niggas. Shit. I got down and said, boy, I'm finna back up. I gotta straighten my shit out. Did that in order. Really? Really? So you know, what was that for? What was that said for? Let me make it make sense. Why was that said? Hey fellas, a lot of this shit that y'all doing on these podcasts with these people who call themselves interviewing you, you know, for what pretensions I'm still trying to figure out. Why y'all want to call these guys and do these interviews if it's not just for the clout? Because ain't none of the interviews that they have done with anybody been an interview that has something to do with them doing the right thing. Keeping themselves out of harm's way. Yeah, you can ask the question, but let's put some action behind it. Let's give them some shit like, hey man, look, I got this shit right here going on, you know, with the children, or, you know, with the people, this, that, and the third. Damn, coming on my show. Come to the function and speak or just wave at the people and tell them, hey, or whatever. That's something that means something. The only thing they getting off of these podcasts and these interviews is somebody saying, but that shit went viral. Who give a damn? Who give a damn? Money. Money. It's for personal gain, fellas. And they taking advantage of you because they know you feel like they fuck with you. And I'm going to say it just like that. They don't fuck with y'all. What kind of support did they give you when you was sitting behind them bars, fellas? But the people who was supporting your black asses, I bet you y'all ain't called none of them on the phone. I bet y'all ain't pulled up on none of them.
Preach.
I bet you y'all ain't sent nobody to them and said, tell them thank you. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. What about your supporters that y'all had? So who give a damn about what they talking about? Who give a damn about the people talking about the question that y'all were asked and what y'all said and how you said it? You shouldn't have responded to it. You shouldn't have never did the interviews, if you ask me. Because y'all should know the shit that they gonna talk about is gonna have something to do with what the hell you went through. For what? Here's a man said, my mindset was, I don't want to have to remember nothing I went through. But he just sat in a 3-hour interview and let a motherfucker question him about everything under the sun that had something to do with what he went through. I would have got up and walked off that shit. You damn right they don't want to remember that. That was torture for them. Why should they want to discuss it? But like I say, out of respect for somebody who don't have the respect for them, they came, they allowed y'all to ask them questions, they allowed y'all to interrogate them on the same shit that y'all saying that they shouldn't be sitting in the interrogation room talking about. Just for a headline. Make that shit make sense. How can you tell a man, how can y'all tell a man or tell these young men, man, you ain't have no business talking to the police, or you ain't have no business doing this, that, and the other, and then you asking the same shit in front of the world? What make you better than them? What makes y'all better than them? Y'all interrogating them too. That's interrogation. I wouldn't give a damn if you're not a law enforcement officer. That's interrogation.
It is.
So no, you don't have a person's best interest at heart when you do that type of shit. Y'all got your own interests at heart. Let them come on Nothing But The Truth, so they can tell their stories instead of being prosecuted to tell their stories. That's the difference between we here at No Days Off Radio with the #1 show in the land, Nothing But The Truth. We allow the people to speak and tell their stories. Y'all ain't never heard us say hit the subscribe button. Y'all ain't never heard us say shit, hit the likes. Y'all ain't never heard us say none of that shit on this show.
I think I have once or twice.
And when it was done by Shanita, it wasn't for personal gain.
Just for support.
If we ask for some support, it's to support somebody. Somebody got something to do with it. You can guarantee that. But these guys have mindsets that they have had to deal with for 3 years, for 7 or 8 months, for 5 years, for 10 years. You can't just wipe that shit away. You can't just say, okay, it's over, and that's it. You got to get it off your chest. But you got to talk, y'all got to talk to somebody who's going to be neutral, not one-sided, guys, because then you're going to be right back at spot one.
Neutral and positive, not neutral and then trying to keep division going,
You're going to be back at spot one.
You need counseling.
These are not certified counselors that you all are doing interviews with. So if you want to seek some help, go seek some professional help.
Exactly.
Go get y'all some professional help,
And
man.
vent to them.
So you can have somebody who's gonna have a suggestion along with a learning situation to give you
Tools to manage.
and the tools to use to get yourself past it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so my son was at one time a person who didn't even do interviews until he was told that he need to start doing interviews as far as the labor was responsible. The labor was concerned, not the streets. One thing y'all better believe, fellas, and I'm talking to all of y'all. I'm talking to every young man, young woman, whoever that's considering yourself being people who are in the street. One thing y'all better put in y'all vocabulary and use as a tool mentally is the fact that the streets don't give a damn about you.
Trying to tell you. They don't.
The streets will chew you up and spit you out and go on to the next.
And humiliate you.
So surround yourself, if you're going to be in the street, surround yourself with some people who has a goal that they are trying to reach from being in the street. Surround yourself with the people who have something going on for themselves that's trying to get out of the streets. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Anybody can throw rocks and hide their hands. Y'all just seen that. Y'all see Fulton County District Attorney Office doing that every day. Y'all see police officers do that every day. So it ain't got nothing to do with if you legit or if you're a criminal or if you living a criminal life. Everybody do it. A lot of people throw rocks and hide their hands. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. This man and the other guys that was on this trial that took it to the end, they had to live with a mindset of survival. They were in a position to where they had to actually be in survival mode every day.
Right.
Every day. At least a lot of the other guys that was on the case were able to have roommates, were able to come out and see people, were able to interact with people, the whole 9 yards. Young Thug came out of his cell to use the phone, probably sit in a little area, might have had a roommate every now and then, if that. And that's it. Mindset. When you don't have nothing but time to think, man, if you have ever been in that situation, you know that you can think of some shit, man, and sometimes the shit won't make no sense. Because you got too much time to think about it. But you can sit in that room and you can look up at that damn ceiling. You can sit in your room in prison or in jail. And if you sit in there long enough, you know, and this is for the people who don't know because you ain't never been in that situation. your ass will learn, your ass will sit there and count every brick in that goddamn room. And you'll know exactly how many bricks it is in that room on the wall. Then you'll get so deeply embedded in that room till you'll look up at that vent and you'll count every hole in that damn vent just to have something to do. Just to have something to do. Anything that you can use your mind to do in that cell, you will actually do it. Mindset. All the way down to the cracks in the goddamn wall.
Okay.
You'll count them. You're going to exercise. Eventually, you're going to start exercising. You're going to start, trying to make shit. You're going to start doing anything to try to make the time go by. Mindset. You can sit in that room so long to where you'll be asking the deputies, what time is it? And they'll say 3 o'clock. And you'll swear to God, you done slept all day.
Right.
Or you done did this for so long, you thinking time just done went the hell by. And you just asked them at 1 o'clock what time it was. Mindset. If you're not strong, you will lose your damn mind.
Definitely. It's very
in
traumatic.
that cell.
Exactly.
You are traumatized, man.
Very traumatic.
And JC two minds on the mic, you right. You'll start learning, you'll start counting forward and backwards.
I'm trying to tell you.
You'll do anything, man, just to pass time and make yourself relax or try to feel at ease to deal with what you're dealing with.
Trauma.
That's why I'm saying go get some professional help.
Right.
Go talk to somebody who can talk to you on another scale other than criminal.
Or street.
Do that and see how well that gets you. So we just, the injustice of the system, man, it's not just ruining their lives as far as sending them to prison. It's ruining their minds from being incarcerated because they're being treated unfairly in the jail and unfairly in the damn courtroom.
Right.
And everybody's playing a role in it. The judges, the DAs, the sheriff department, the Atlanta Police Department, everybody is playing a role in it. So we as a people, we got to stand our ass up because these are our children they doing this to. They don't have no leniency toward nobody in the system because they're trying to prove a point. And the point that they're trying to prove in Atlanta right now is that every young man that goes to jail or get locked up, if he get locked up with two or more people, they're going to charge you with a gang charge. If you get arrested by yourself and they can affiliate you with two or more people, they gonna give your ass a gang charge. Because as of now, in Fulton County, in the city of Atlanta, they know that if you give any of these kids a gang charge upon arresting them, or even after they've been arrested and you let them out on bond, you can hit them with a gang charge and this damn near gonna stick. They are going to plea out to that gang charge.
Yeah.
I have sat in many courtrooms in Fulton County and heard them say, if they plead guilty to this charge, which is a gang charge.
Which counts with a 5-year mandatory sentence.
No, it's 20.
The minimum is 5.
The minimum is 1, actually. It's 1 to 20, not 5 to 20.
We gotta look that up.
And once you plead to it, if you plead to that gang charge, they'll dismiss the rest of your charges. What type of shit is that? They just want the gang conviction. Let me tell y'all why they just want the gang conviction. Because our DA promised that she would fight the gangs in the streets of Atlanta if she's put in office. So they got to make it look like this is what she's doing. So who giving you them charges? And everybody's trying to prosecute them. If you go through the Fulton County courthouse and go courtroom to courtroom and just sit in on cases, anybody that's trialing a gang case, all the DAs that trialing gang cases, all of them sound just alike when they in their prosecution. In their prosecution strategies, they sound just alike. They are saying the same shit. So that tells you that this is being rehearsed. Everybody's prosecution tactic sounds the same. How is that possible? Somebody's doing a damn good thing at coaching them. They got some good teachers. Everybody sound the same. Trust me. Go down there, you'll see. Go down there. And that's the first and foremost thing that they're asking for guys to plead to. The gang charge. So they let you know a lot of the charges that they giving these kids, they know they can't even prosecute it. But if you put gang on the side of it, you're going to get a conviction. You are guaranteed a conviction just on that. Yeah, but yesterday in court.
That's that 20, what you said.
Yeah, but yesterday in court, it was said to the judge that it's 1 to 20. So, you know.
I don't know where that 1 come from.
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out too.
That's
But
some stuff
it was
that
said
made
in
up.
court that it's 1 to 20. But at the same token, whether it's 1 to 20 or 5 to 20, When your ass plead guilty to it, they ask for the max.
I'm telling you.
They justify your sentencing on the state requests that the offer is 20 do 10, and you get credit for the time that you in jail. And this is how they stipulate it. Do 20 do 10 in jail, in prison. And you get time for the time you've been locked up in jail, and then the rest on probation. Really? Really? The sentencing don't even meet the crime, man. And it's all because they're forcing you to plead to a gang charge. They don't give a damn if you standing there all day and saying a gang member. You are to them. Because that's what they use to convict your ass with. That's cold. That's cold, man. I have witnessed it. It's in all the courtrooms that these kids go in that has a gang charge. We got to make it make sense. We got to do something about this.
That's
So
right.
I'm going to give Shanita some time if she want to speak on what she want to speak on, if she have anything to speak on, and then we're going to wrap this show up, you know. So, Shanita, you got the flow.
I don't have anything to say. I agree with what we discussed during the show. I think they need, some counseling from a professional, not just podcast conversations. I think, it needs to be
Those are podcast interrogations,
podcast
not conversations.
interrogations. I think, they should all sit down together. Yak, Ghana, Thug, all of them. And have a conversation and let's get back to being family and doing good music. Period. That's it.
Definitely. And Miss Douglas, Natasha Douglas,
Jeffrey Yak Ghana, not just Yak Ghana. Jeffrey,
all of them.
all of them.
Miss with that Natasha Douglas, you right. It is no loyalty in the street anymore. No loyalty. That shit went out long time ago. With this last generation, loyalty was erased off the board.
Right. What's that?
So you're right. No loyalty.
We thank
All
you
right.
all for joining us today. We got started late because I had to come from out of town, which guess what I did? I left my purse, so I got to turn all the way back around and go get it.
Okay.
But it's okay. We were here. Big Jeff was patient with us. We hope that we answer you guys' questions that you guys been asking us, the burning questions for Big Jeff, and hopefully one day, we'll have Thug on the show and he could speak to you guys on a more positive note. But we thank you guys for tuning in today. And this is Shanita.
And Big Jeff from No Days Off Radio, coming to you from the #1 show in the land. Nothing but the truth. And we out.
You can have it. I got some. I got it down to you.